Good evening, everyone. This is Lowman02. What we're going to do today is do some live commentary as well as play. So right now, we're on a game 3 between MLBerlin and dawts, and let's see if they've restarted. They were in the middle of boarding right as we were hitting record. It appears not yet. So we'll be doing this as well as going through a few of our matches we've had over like the last day or so, mostly with Sultai Midrange, but we've been playing some Death and Taxes as well. So let's go double check. I don't want to jump into one of the matches right now before we've gotten to see their game play out. But you know what? We'll do. We'll start with it. And I will wait. We'll go ahead and wait for a minute. One of the interesting things I want to talk about, just we haven't had a lot of opportunity to chat about it, but I just recently posted an MTG Salvation on the expert cycle and the expert spell cycle. I think the verdict is still out on the experts themselves. The expert spell cycle, though, or the expertise spell cycle. So if you're not familiar with the spells I'm talking about, I am the worst, utterly the worst with card names, but they are essentially the spells that are generally less efficient versions of other cards, but they allow you to cast free spells ranging from 2 converted mana cost up to, I believe, 3 or 4, depending on which color they're in. And I think some of them have the ability to be pretty backbreaking in some matches. So anytime you're able to cast a spell, even if it's like 1 mana less efficient than you think it should probably be, but at the same time you're able to cast a 2 CMC or 3 CMC spell for free out of your hand. That's just to me it's pure gas. It's mana advantage, which is like the reason why people play cards like Burning Tree Emissary. At the end of the day, the card's just a bear, but I mean it puts you ahead of turn if you're playing it on curve. So I think those spells are actually very powerful. The experts themselves, I think, vary in capability of play. So we're back in the match now. We see MLBerlin with a pretty heavy investment start against 4-color Blood, which dawts is on. So MLBerlin's on like a RG Stompy style deck. I'm not. Well, I guess his mana is going to be fixed here. He's probably going to sack, Croson Verge right now. I think you probably do that end step, but I mean, it's not like dawts is going to play around anything. He doesn't have colored mana at this point until he charges up the Croson, what is it? The Fungal Reaches, the charge land. So his mana is fixed at this point in time. And actually, I'm kind of shocked. I've watched 2 games between these players, and I've yet to see white mana be used in MLBerlin's build. He must be on Naya colors then. Dawts is on 4-color, no blue. Mid-range to mid-range aggro. It's just a beat-down deck. Pretty decent start for him. So, I mean, not fast start, but he has a decent investment start with Raging Ravine and Treetop Village, both of which I think are very strong cards. That is a beating. Mimic that, I think almost right here, because so Dawts is a 4-color deck. He is very dependent on his mana. I think right now what I like is actually blowing up the Raging Ravine as opposed to playing the Mimic Bat out. And I think when I do that, I get rid of like the Yavimaya Hollow, because Dawts' deck is running the most efficient removal in the game, a lot of which exiles. So Yavimaya Hollow I think is going to be more of a dead card. The Fungal Reaches you may want to keep around just to charge up. Yeah, I think I like blowing up his land because he's probably going to play a Planeswalker here. It's going to be a lot tougher to deal with, I think. Okay, puts a charge counter on it. I like doing that end step, but I mean, he must have one F6 value. Oh, dawts discarded. Blow up his lands, dude. You got to. This game is probably over if he just blows up his lands. Maybe he's going to be nice about it. I don't know. I don't like this. I really don't like this. I think you blow the heck out of his lands, you lock him down, and you win the game. As crappy as that is to say, I mean, that's not a fun way to win. But I think it's what you're supposed to do there. I think you were supposed to do it last turn. This deck very much so relies on. So you see cards like Castigate in his deck. You gotta just. That's the failing point of these 4-color decks. It's why that's why I call them 4-color greedy. And right now I think ML should probably be exploiting that. But that Dust Bowl is a heck of a card. It's a hell of a card, really. I mean, it ends games against decks like what Dawts is playing if he's unable to land a threat. But if you give him time, which ML is giving him time right now, I guess he's going to get this under his Mimic Bat. But I don't know. Maybe he's playing more casual. I don't know. I don't like this line of play though. I think you just start mana screwing him with Dust Bowl. You've got the Myriad Landscape, which you can sack. You're going to have tons of mana advantage on him. You know, you've got obviously a large scale threat. You know, you obviously attack with that before you go on your Dust Bowl excursion because you're going to go down lands and make it a 2-3. He's going to get LB'd here. Yeah, I mean, you know, he's really given Dawts an opening to get out of this game. Um, I don't know. Okay, he regenerates his thing. He still has mana up to crack the Myriad Landscape. Now, if Dawts is a land here and is able to get it, he's got Planeswalkers in his hand. Like, I'll almost promise you he has Planeswalker cards in hand. He wasn't greedy enough to keep black creatures. Um, you know, he he gets his black land, so his mana is fixed now. He has got a 4-mana Planeswalker in his hand, and right now it's killing me. But at ML, you need to blow up his lands. You need to get his Raging Ravine at this point. Then you need to move to his Shambling Vent, then his Plateau, then his Treetop Village last. Because you can trade damage for time against this. But I think, you know, I don't think you're the beatdown right now on 2 cards. I think you just want to control and win the game. You can grind him out at this point. You got a better threat than he's got on ground. You need to blow his lands up. Yeah, I don't think Dawts can even win this game. If that's the line you take, is the mana denial route. But if he untaps next turn, I think we're going to see like a Chandra. I think we'll see a Chandra. What else could it be? Elspeth. Elspeth or Chandra, I think is what we see. I think those are the 2 cards we see. One of them. Or maybe he's got something like a Blood Braid, but I think it's like 2 Planeswalkers in his hand. In my first guess would definitely be Chandra, because his red mana was fixed from the get-go. I think he kept a 2-3 lander with the red sources he needed to cast that card, and that was the rationale for keeping the hand. I could be completely wrong. I'd be curious to know if we don't end up seeing him play it out. All right, he's finally going to Dust Bowl, which means that I think this game's over. Yeah, and he hits the right land at least. You know, yeah, this game's over. Like if he's off red mana, I don't think he has the ability to win. Okay, what's he gonna do here? I think you activate that green, maybe just turn on the Treetop Village, gives you favorable blocks against the Sylvan, but I mean the Yavimaya Hollow's still up. The only reason you run that line is to alright, he's gonna get Path to Exile, which is actually it's fine. Like I was saying, he runs a lot of exiling type effects, so like Mimic Vat and like Yavimaya Hollow I think are less valuable lands in this matchup. I was instantly proven wrong after that when he cast a Lightning Bolt, which is obviously one of the more efficient cards. I mean, I think he's already runs like Lightning Bolt, Lightning Helix, and Chain Lightning maybe. And then like Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares, you know, and I think there's like 1 or 2 other exiling effects. I mean, he's got some destroying effects like Vindicate is in there, Mortify maybe. Um, there may be a Maelstrom Pulse. Okay, Kolaghan's Command. He's going to blow up. I would make the token now. My assumption is he's going to have him discard and blow that up. Which is fine. I mean, it's not a bad trade. He's off lands. I mean, this game's over. Like, if ML blows up his Plateau next turn, take him off red-white, put him down to white-green, white-black-green. Because his deck, well, maybe you almost want to go Treetop, because green is how I think he gets back into it. But I think he's got a double Planeswalker hand, you know, and maybe even a Lily. I know Liliana the Veil's in the deck as well. She's very efficient, great threat. Not that it's even like favorable to cast it right now with like an Urza's Factory and like a Treetop Village, but against a 1-1. Yeah, he's just going, oh, no, he's not going to go ham on the lands. I still feel like Dawts is like 1 top deck away from putting like a Chandra on the board. Yeah, I feel like all of this is nonsense in comparison to just blowing up the lands. be honest. I think you can just sit back and take 1 damage a turn and blow up lands. And this game is just far more than over. All right, let's see what Planeswalker he has. I'm almost like 95% sure he's got one. It may not be favorable for him to cast it now with a Master of the Wild Hunt in play. If it's Chandra, she can't kill it because the fungal reaches can make enough mana for Yapamaya Hollow to regenerate it. I think it is a Chandra though. That's my hunch. Or it's multiple. It's like Chandra, Elspeth. Because typically, like, you know, I think he kept a 2 to 3 lander, and he didn't have a lot of creatures in it. It was a very reactive hand. I mean, I think he had the Lightning Bolt to Castigate to start off with. You know, and he figured he could fend off early beats or early threats that hit the board, and then he could get into his Planeswalkers if he got lands. All right, Garrick. Okay, well, we were wrong, but, I mean, we knew it was a Planeswalker. It was Garrick, though. And or he has more than this, and right now he's just getting Garrick into play, so he can cast multiple spells in a turn. All right, puts a Beast into play. It's probably fine. I think he needs to Dust Bowl now, though. He needs to start Dust Bowling and getting in there. Yeah, maybe it was the right land. I don't know. I think at that point it's probably Bayou. Green mana is the basis of like most of these 4-color decks. This deck included. I mean, this deck does run some stuff like Castigate, but I mean, green is generally what allows it to fix. I mean, like it's mana dorks, you know, etc. Like there's just green. Green is pretty deep as far as its capability to fix other colors, allow you to play many colors, basically allow greed to run. He's up to 5 mana right now, though. And if it was a Chandra or an Elspeth that he had in hand, he will be able to get it out this turn with the Plateau. And it untaps with Garrick. I think I like attacking there. Well, he had to blow up land, which he should have been doing in the first place, I think. But, you know, I think he could have actually gotten it if he had attacked with the treetop. I have to double check the math on it. No, he couldn't have quite. Or he wouldn't have tagged it for 1. He would have had to use regeneration mana off Yapamaya Hollow, but the Beast would have been dead and the Garrick would have been, you know, worthless. I think we're going to see an untap here. If we see a Beast production, I think he's in desperation mode. But he's got a lot of cards in hand. I think one of them is a Planeswalker. Yeah, again, ML I know was trying to be more proactive with his line, but I think he wanted to go denial with this line because, you know, this deck just relies so heavily on its lands that when it doesn't have them, I mean, it just doesn't do anything because the cards are the casting cost requirements are so demanding. I mean, you look at the graveyard, you have cards like Castigate, Lightning Bolt, Path to Exile, Kolaghan's Command. It's a tough deck to fix for. Just see Eternal Witness come out. He's probably going to get one of the lands. My guess would be the Polluted Delta. Oh no, a Path to Exile. Okay, well he wants to get rid of the Master. We do see the untap. Maybe we'll see another nonsense creature, like a 2 mana, like a Tarmogoyf or something. No, we're just gonna see a path. You know, honestly, from this point, ML may lose this. I don't think there was any reason that he should have lost this game whatsoever. But, you know, he doesn't really have a lot of action going on. I think he let this happen. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. His last top deck, the last game, his top deck was ridiculous. Like he drew like a natural. I forget what it was. It was like some ridiculous green creature into a natural order the following turn to win the game. Okay, charge it up. Down to 1. Guess would be probably a land because the way he's played this, my guess is he has a nonsense card in hand because he has been very opposed to using the Dust Bowl if he has something that he can actually play out. That's just my assumption based on the line he's kind of taken with it. But like I said, I think I would have withheld some of my threats. Yeah, okay, Gruul Turf. I would have withheld some of my threats and just been blowing up lands this whole game and made it so that there was absolutely no way he could win. But from this point, I mean, this game may not be, may actually be out of his reach with a resolved Planeswalker. We'll see. We shall see. He'll be able to fend off beats for a bit, but as soon as they hit trample mode, it's going to be tough. Okie doke. He probably regenerates here, be my guess. I think you leave up the treetop, though. He just trades. Okay. I don't know if I like that, but maybe he has another threat to play, though. If you can get rid of the Garruk, I think this game's over. The Garruk is going to be the defining. Okay, Anger of the Gods. Meh. The Garruk is going to be what defines this game. Now, if dawts is unable to produce an additional threat and does not have a reactive card in hand to get rid of the Treetop Village, that could spell the end of the Garruk. Well, I think it'll spell the end of the game anyways because he's going to get rid of another land. Ideally, the Bayou. I think the Bayou is the most dangerous land. Again, green tends to be, I think, the best hedge bet when you're taking out lands. But really, this is like a typical fight. I mean, one player out of gas, one player unable to play gas. Let's see. He's throwing the good games up. Yeah, evidently he was off it. He couldn't stop what was going on. I think this game could have honestly been over like probably 5 turns ago, though. If the Dust Bowl had been used as opposed to casting kind of the nonsense threats, you got to think about it. I mean, like the nonsense threats that he's playing, like, I mean, they're fine. But you know, if you have an Indrik in the graveyard, the cards are fine. But if you're if you're just running into removal, you got to think through what Dots likely has. His holdings, I think, were pretty definitively, some sort of Planeswalker and some reactive cards to stop creatures so he can get to the Planeswalker, and he's kind of hoping to top deck. I think he's on a 2 to 3 lander, probably 3 lander to keep a Planeswalker, and then plus the reactive cards. Yeah, interesting line, very interesting line. I think at this point we're actually gonna play. We're gonna play ML right now, or at least we've been talking about playing. Yep, and it looks like we are up. And I think what we'll end up doing is I want to play that. I think we'll play Esper Control. I haven't played this deck in a while, and we'll make it interesting. I feel pretty comfortable at this point in time with the Sultai deck. I'm pretty sure I'll run this weekend, but let's wish our opponent luck. It is hand keepable. Oh yes, it is. This is a great hand. We are on the draw. Cool. So we'll go to turn 1 Ancestral Visions just to get that going. We got the Wrath effect if we need it. So my guess is Ancestral Visions turn 1 off island, Temple of Deceit turn 2 to Scry, Preordained turn 2. We're looking for a combo. This is a combo kill deck. So we got blue mana. Ponder, cool. I kind of like my turn 1 a little better than Ponder. And plus, well, I may not if I didn't have as much land as I do, but like this deck is a landed deck. It needs I think you want generally like 3 to 4 lands in hand to start off. I believe it's a 38 land deck. 3's fine. You could do it with 2, but you need the cantrips. Like this hand, if it had more action, but still had the Preordained and the Visions, and was 2-lander, I think would be keepable. Just because the deck is pretty land heavy, and Preordained tends to allow you to keep hands with less mana in them. We'll pass it back, see what he's up to. I feel pretty comfortable right now. The only thing that we need to worry about is a planeswalker. So really what we are looking for at this point is counter magic. That's not a bad pull, but we're not on it yet. So let's do this. We'll look first. Hopefully it's something I'm kind of hoping we can put it at the bottom because I want to preordain. Yeah, I can go to the bottom. Let's preordain. We'll probably keep land tops, counterspell second if we can find some. Or we may get countered here. He's kind of thinking. I think he wants to sack his Grixis Panorama though. So we'll see. He may counter trying to like mana screw us, but that's not going to work. We essentially have 5 lands in hand. With the Trinket Mage, we can go get land. We can get one of our artifact lands. Maybe we are getting countered here. No, okay, he's just going for Grixis Panorama. I don't believe this deck runs Stifle. I love that card. Maybe it should. I don't know. Huh. He's going to 3 next turn, and I go to 3. Well, here's what we're going to do, folks. I think what we're going to do is... I think we keep this. I really do. Now, it could backfire on us if we get turn 4 Jace, because we're on the draw, and we're not going to have Cryptic up, but let's put this on top, put this on top. So, what my thinking is I have a Trinket. I've got an Enlightened Tutor. I basically got 2 tutors that can go through the deck. I don't know if this deck runs Pithing Needle or not. I can't remember if it runs Pithing Needle. Okay, so he's on a counter magic deck. Interesting. I think we play this so we can Enlighten Tutor in his end step if we need to. I think we pass it. He's obviously on some sort of counter magic. And we'll let him do whatever he's going to do. Oh, he's out of lands. This is good. So here's what we plan on doing. I'm going to wait on the Enlighten Tutor. I don't need to yet. I think what we end up doing is we go for... We pass it back. If he plays something relevant, I mean, we'll counter. Like, we're really, like, talking Planeswalker. If he doesn't, then we'll go for the Factor Fiction, attempting to get him to counter that. And then when we pass it back, that'll ensure the resolution of our Ancestral Vision. So, I mean, we're going to get to draw 3 cards, really either way. Signet? Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's cool. One interesting line there is, what we could have explored there is, one second, I gotta check something, guys. I gotta make sure, I'm not sure if this runs back to basics main. No, it doesn't, okay. So then, we'll just fix. And I think here, we want the scrub land. And the reason being is that opens up Wrath. It doesn't look like he's on like a Wrath heavy deck, or on a deck that Wrath is good against. Ooh, okay. I like Tech Edge Wasteland. Dissipate's fine. Ojutai's Command seems kind of nominal against him. Vidalcan Shackle seems kind of nominal. It doesn't look like he's on a creature heavy deck. Looks like he's more of a controlling deck, kind of like we are. So this would be an interesting split. I think he's going to value Wasteland very highly right now, which I think is going to go into a 2 pile. I think it goes into a 2 pile, likely with Vidalcan Shackles or Ojutai's Command. And then one of those 2 cards goes over with Tech Edge and Dissipate. I think that's probably the split he puts us on. Huh. That is not the split I would have thought. Well, I'm going to take this one, because I think it's better. And the other half of that is I can always utilize the Academy runes that I have in hand to get back the Shackles. So, I mean, I'm really only losing 1 card. I'm obviously going to ditch some here. But I think what I'm going to do is this. I think we go ahead and wasteland his mana fixing. We're going to discard a bit here. But I think what we do is we leave open the option to dissipate and or oh, he doesn't like the LD. No. So what we're going to explain our line to him. I think our line was correct. He's debating us on our line though. I'm honestly I'm fine with our line. I think what we do though is we cast this now. He may just be frustrated with the LD. I think it is right here though. And honestly, I defend our line too. I think our line was definitely the correct line. You force him to counter the factor fiction, and then on your turn, let's go helm here. Yeah, we're just gonna go helm. We're gonna get our helm and set up our win con. I think what we do here is ditch this LD. We don't need more black mana. Yeah, we'll ditch this though. And I think we ditch the Toxic Deluge. I don't think he's on a lot of creatures. So we have Absorb up right now. The following turn, we'll likely still pass it back. All right, he's off land. The turn after this, though, we'll cast the Trinket Mage and go a-looking. Because we'll still have Absorb up. Oblivion Ring. It's been a while since I played this deck. We may get this countered. If we do, we're going to let it get countered. I don't care. I don't really need it. It's not going to get me the other half of my Helm of Obedience combo, so I'll let it happen if it gets countered. And honestly, here, well, what do we go for here? I'm going to let this happen. If he counters, that's cool. It's probably like a dissolve or something. Exclude? Yeah, okay, that's fine. He's going to discard himself next turn, more than likely. The name of our game is we have one half of our combo. We're going to sit back, counter what's relevant, because my guess is he's got a lot of nonsense in hand he's going to discard at the end of turn when he's on 10 cards. Oh, I guess the Reliquary Tower was interesting, but maybe we should have blown that thing up, because he's actually going to be able to keep it. One thing we could possibly do, though, is set up a turn where we get rid of that silly thing. Yeah. This may be a bounce turn with our Cryptic Command. We may be bouncing the Reliquary Tower. See what he gets up to. This is a very, very reactive hand. Snapcaster would be good for Enlightened Tutor. I mean, obviously the Rip would be good. We don't really have a lot of low-end counter magic, though. Most of our counter magic is like big counter magic. It's like 3 or 4 mana counter magic. What's he going for here? Shrine of Burning Rage? Yeah, okay. We'll let that thing tick up, and then we'll just eventually get it with our O-Ring. Or we'll bounce it with Cryptic Command. We'll force him to discard here. He's probably going to counter this, be my guess. And we might get into a little fight over it, just to run him out of cards. Or we may not. Yeah, he's going to try to counter it. Alright, so he's going for a counter. What we'll do is we will counter back and force him to run out his cards. We'll really force him to get out of mana efficiency. If he has another counter, great. We'll O-ring his Shrine of Burning Rage on the following turn as well, because that eventually will win the game. Plus, this allows us to resolve our Helm if we so want to. Okay, it looks like he is out of cards. Or out of counter magic. We'll force him to discard too. So, I mean, really, you know, that looked like an inefficiency for mana, but we got 3 cards for our 2. It's a 3 for 2, which is a fair exchange in my book. Plus, we're up on mana efficiency. Doke. So what I like doing here is portenting myself. Really, we're looking for a way to close the game out right now. We know we can't draw at this turn. Muddle and Mixture allows us to win. I think what we want to do is this. Plains, Muddle, and Negate. Negate allowing us to protect ourselves next turn. No, I don't want to shuffle that. And then I think what we do is this. I think we go ahead and, just in case he's like randomly running like just a ton of counter magic. Yeah, I think we O-ring here. O-ring his Shrine of Burning Rage. He may try to counter this. And I think I'm fine with that, because if he does, let's think here. We have 2 counters available to us against him next turn. This deck right here that he's running runs a whole ton of... so I played this deck before. I didn't know what it was initially, but now I do. It's like a sweeper. It's like a damage sweeper-based deck that like uses like Mind's Eye Diamond and like Venser's Journal just to like draw, like to gain tons of life, which this deck doesn't care about at all. Okay. So I think what we do here, I don't know how much artifact hate he's running. I think what we end up doing here is we cast out our Helm. We cast on our Helm here, and then leave up, or tapping poorly though, leave up the ability either to recurse it if it gets destroyed. Boy, we already tapped way more than enough. We leave up the ability to recurse it if it's destroyed with Academy Runes, and then we leave up Dissipate plus Negate. The following turn will transmute. I don't want to go for it this turn. It's just, we actually could, but I can't protect it. And like he has 7 cards in hand to my 5. If he counters this, fine. We'll just recurse the silly thing. He's just burning cards at that point. If it's a dissolve, then I'm gonna, or dissipate, then I'm gonna fight it. All right, if it counters kind of this way, exile it instead. Okay, well that's not gonna happen. That we will not allow, because we do need this piece to win. If he counters this, we have another counter. I just don't want this to get exiled, because that's going to make the game go forever. This is really our way of rapidly winning. He probably does have another counter. Yeah, we're going to counter that because we don't want him to get the scry value. And there we go. So we decided to duke it out. And now we are going to be short on counter magic at this point. So depending on what he has left, I don't know how much counter magic he runs. I mean, really, he's at a point now where like the ball is in his court. He needs to threaten us in some way, shape, or form. You know, and looking back on it, well, it may have been wiser to try to go for the rip this turn. My logic was, you know, if he removes it, because I figured this line of possibility was true. Like he could go to counter or exile or this thing with Void Shatter's not a card I thought of. I thought of the card I had, Dissipate. You know, but We could have gone for the rip this turn because we had a lot of counter magic to protect it. Okay, cool. That's whatever. If he doesn't have another way to exile it, like, I'll just play it out there again. I'll run it right back out. So let's run this out and see if he goes for it. Go ahead. If he has a way to exile it, that stinks. He does not. Do we go for it? Yeah, we do. Let's do it. Let's go for it. Anything better? No, we'll just go for it here. If he has like a miscalc or something like that, it stinks. We may just play it right into his hand. Okay, so that got exiled. Nope. He's down to 4 cards, though. And if he doesn't... I don't know if he runs a creature or not, so that stinks. Surprised he... Well, I guess he couldn't have done it with the helm. But he doesn't really have anything going on. So we'll go Lingering Souls and just start beating down with 1/1s, I guess. We could go like a really slow route and just start milling cards and then putting a Helm of Obedience back on top of our library. He doesn't seem to have a very proactive deck. I don't even know if he runs creatures or not. Maybe we'll go with that line. I don't know. These Wraths look pretty bad in our hand. He's probably like rolling Earthquaking us. That's fine. Yeah, he like runs nonsense cards like this in here. So let's see what we draw first. We're obviously not going to attack with the spirits. Condescend's cool. It's very cool. Yeah, let's go with this line. So we're going to leave Condescend up. If he wants to just sit around and draw cards, we'll just very slowly mill him out. And if he runs any creatures, maybe eventually we'll hit one. I don't know. But we're up on mana advantage. We can Condescend any of his plays that are relevant. It doesn't appear that he has a lot, though. Vidalcan Shackles. Do I care about this? No, not really. I really don't. Go ahead. Yeah, have it. Let's see what we can hit. Okie doke. Oh, it does exile. Never mind. Oh, it does not. Cool. Yeah, we'll just mill him. That's fine. He can take one of our spirits. We got counter magic up. We'll just mill him out with this thing, because we're never going to hit a creature, I don't think. I think he tries to run like 100% no creatures. He's stealing one of my spirits. Cool. Yeah, I'm silly. I forget. I haven't played Helm in a while, guys. I apologize for that. I forgot it doesn't sacrifice. If you don't hit, it doesn't sacrifice, which I don't think it's going to against this deck. I mean, I'd feel really silly, though, if, like, I kind of think he doesn't run any creatures. I'd feel really silly, though, if I, yeah, we're blocking. It's cool. If I hit one and, like, couldn't recurse the thing. You know, I want to leave that option open. What do you got, buddy? Ancestral Vision? Yeah, draw more cards. We're gonna mill you. Okay. I'm kind of fine with lands, you know. Not a big deal. It's gonna just make the mill clock faster. Yeah, just a bunch of counter spells. I wonder if he runs away to deal with an artifact. How does he win with this deck? Molten Disaster? What is this doing? Creature and player. Yeah, he's at least 10 more life than your starting life total. Does that matter? Yeah, okay. Go ahead. That's gonna take forever. 10 more life? Yeah, you don't have that many turns, man. Yeah, we get a Prairie Stream. And I'm gonna laugh when I finally do hit a creature. So we're milling for 12 right now. Cool. Counterspell. That's the kind of stuff we need. Plus he's got so 12, 12. I think we're looking at like a 3-turn clock on this thing right now. Yeah, okay, that's cool. No problem. I mean, unless we have to counter something. If he just gets like all reactive cards and can't do anything about what we're up to right now, and obviously if he like ever vents, I mean, he hasn't vents, I don't think. He just has nonsense. He has a bunch of counter magic. So this plan is gonna work. I think this is gonna work. I'm probably gonna eat my words and like get his miser creature. Opportunity. Cool. Yep, we're going the mill route. Oh wow. Dak Faden, that would have been good against us. Urza's Rage. Alright, so he burns people out. That's how he wins. That is how he wins. Or like manlands or something. I don't know. Yeah, gain a life. And we're down a little bit on time because Helm takes a while to tap for. I think he should probably concede. I don't know what he has that can win here. He doesn't have enough business spells. That's the problem. Maybe I'm going to get like, I don't know, Return to Dustin or something. I don't know. And then lose miserably. I think, how much is left on this thing? 1? So that's 3, 12, 1. Alright, he just conceded. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was enough. Okie doke. So, what don't we want here? We do want this. Circle of Protection red could be interesting. I think we get rid of Moat, Wrath of God. Supreme Verdict. What else is terrible in this? This is a weird matchup. Cop Red may be interesting. Meh. Eh. A lot of red spells. I think I like these. Maybe not the Flash Flood, though. I didn't see a lot of red permanents. I saw a lot of red spells. Day of Judgment. Yeah, get out of there. Sun Droplet, randomly. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nonsense, but it's better than a Wrath, right? I think. Yeah, I think Sun Droplet's better than Dragon's Claw. Okie doke, let's run it. Sorry for kind of the boring match, guys. I think I have to say that's the first time I've milled out like a traditional way a 100-card deck. Normally it's a grindstone painter combo or like this combo. I think I've done this combo like once or twice. It's just been a hot minute since I played it. Yeah, I think both of our boards are probably quite dead against each other's decks. I think the key to success in this game is to draw a bunch of counter spells. We definitely want the back to basics because that's going to wreck him, and we can generally play around it. I mean, some of our lands obviously don't play around it, but we have enough islands and plains that I think we can get him locked under a back to basics. Huh. Yeah, no, we can't keep this. It's too land light, even though it has 1/2 our win con and a Hydroblast, which is a board card, and not albeit a very great one. I want to like counter Urza's Rage. We're mulliganing this thing. Yeah, we got to keep this. Run the draw. Perfect. On top. We got a Spell Pierce for turn 2. I also think like randomly, like yeah, we're gonna play this because we have Spell Pierce. I think randomly, the Engineer Explosives could be good against this deck. I think it like runs a bunch of rocks. We're gonna play this. Just in case I want to cycle the Miscalculation. I highly doubt. I don't know if he plays a lot of instant speed stuff. Like Manlands may be tough for his deck. So the Manland may be very relevant. Nothing. Okie doke. Yeah, we can't activate it yet, so let's just leave the Manland in hand. Yeah, I think Engineered Explosives on 2 may be good against this matchup. We'll see what he gets up to. I'm not going to put him off land yet. I think he has some relevant lands in his deck that I may need to counter. Or not counter, but destroy. I think he's going to go Foff here. And we'll give him the bad news with the Spell Pierce if he does. No? Just, alright, just get in a pain land. Doesn't want to pay the pain for it next turn. You get like Venser's Journal or something random here. Nope. Cool. So we have our Muddle to Mixture, which is interesting. We're going to cycle this off. I don't think it's going to have much utility at this point in the game. I think I'd rather just hit land drops. Cool. That's a good draw. I think I want at least one more land before I do that. So I can defend it with Spell Pierce at a minimum. And even then, like, I think I'm just going to wait. I got time. 10 minutes. I don't really want to play a third game because my clock is not that high and this deck is absolutely not fast. Sure, we'll counter it. Let's screw up his draw. Maybe he really wants it. Maybe he's going to fight over this. That'd be cool. Resolve a Gear Hulk. Definitely don't want to resolve the Rip right now. That's why I haven't transmuted my Muddle yet. Mana Leak, not so great here. I mean, we can protect our Torrent Gear Hulk at this point. We're going to get Underground Sea here. And we will preordain. We'll see if he wants to counter it or not. Bottom. We'll top this guy. I like the ability to scry. I don't know what I'm going to beat him on as far as casting. The CMC goes. That's cool. Oh, baby. So. Yeah, I think we just discard. And I think what we discard is, I think it's going to be the Condescend here, as much as I hate to say it. That's fine. I mean, that kind of blanks our Torrent. I don't think we need to go uber greedy here. I think we want to have Mana Leak plus Eesh. Yeah, let's go for it. We're going to go for it. If he burns this off, then, that stinks. Currently 2. We'll just do it for 2. We don't want to be too greedy. But we do want to start fleecing counter magic out of his hand. And really just setting conditions to combo him out, if we can. Very tricky. Kind of spell is kind of this way. Exile instead of, okay. Well, let's force him to use some more. Okay. Nope. That's fine. I mean, that stinks because, I mean, we're not going to be able to Snapcaster at this point. But, you know, we're not doing terribly here. Okay. Let's pass it back. Can't really do much here. Yep. Okie doke. Maybe we can go aggro. Oops. Not quite yet. Maybe we can go aggro. Which is really weird for this deck. We do have a lot of counter magic in hand. Not a lot of it is great here. It's very situational. It's much more so early game counter magic. Void Shatter. What we can also do is this. Just go ham. Force him to tap down. I will definitely force him to tap down for all this stuff. Cool. You got it. I think we're just going to go ham on the aggro. If he has Mana Leak, I guess we just get had. Which would stink. But if you don't... Nope. Can't pass anything. See what he casts. 7 power on board. He probably has like some sort of burn effect that can get us here, but because he's got a ton of mana, but it's going to also hit him as well. And then we have the Shambling Vent to kind of back this play up. So I mean, if we force him to like Earthquake for 6, he goes down to 14. We got the 2 power attacker on board. Also force him to tap down this turn. Vindicate's a good backup if he has like some random planeswalkers like that. Academy Rooms, okay. I guess that makes it worse against artifacts. What does he got? That thing. Yeah, that's fine. I think we're gonna see like a six casting cost. What is it, like Earthquake effect this turn? Or maybe we're just gonna die. I mean, maybe it's like Urza's Rage, like kick 20 times. I don't know. Molten Disaster. Okay. Three. Okay. That is going to get vindicated for sure, I think. Jace. Okay, opponent's draw is live. Okie doke. His clock is going to become a lot more of an issue at this level of mana efficiency. Well, as much as I hate to do it, we can't let that J stand play. So let's get it. And he's going to Ancestral Visions this turn more than likely. And I think it's this turn, yeah. And he's going to be up on cards on us. But I think we got to hope that he draws less action because Jace is just gas. We can't beat it in this board state. All right, so our Shambling Vent's offline. Well, that stinks. That's a good one. This will probably get countered, my guess would be. Yeah, it's unfortunate the way this played out. And actually, you know, I'm thinking maybe we can see. We'll force him to kill us. So we're going to be in a clock battle at this point. Is my guess. What's he got? Her burn spell? It's cool. I think we're advantaged against this sort of deck, though. He doesn't have enough threats. Cool. Burn from within. Okay. He doesn't X-spell to us. So, back to board. I think we're sticking with the same plan. Flash freeze could be pertinent. Top red. What do we think of that? Can he kill us with a cop red? Yeah, we need to win quickly. Can't bribery him. Yeah, okay, let's run it back. We can't bribery him. We gotta just, I don't know. This is gonna be a tough game to win fast because I mean both players. So I mean I think, unfortunately, I think this is gonna go to clock. All right, Elsbeth or bust. Bottom, top. Oh, we may get land screwed here. Looks like we're both on a wasteland draw. Oof, that's not good. There we go. We may need a mana leak somewhere here, so unfortunately we can't just go ham. All right. Factor Fiction end step. Nope. We need to get the Gideon down. This may be folly, but we're going for it. Cool. Good games. Very close. Tight on time. Tight on time. But I guess sometimes you got it. And yeah, we didn't get any action the last game, but this game, Gideon just ended up doing what he does and being just a phenomenal threat. So let's tell our opponent good games and see if he wants to play another. Oh, yep, looks like we are going to do that. What do we feel like this time? What Death and Taxes? I wonder if he's going to run back the same deck. If he does, I don't think there's any chance we can win. Cool. Good hand. And have an answer turn one, or I think that's going to be good. We'll see what we do with Thalia's Lieutenant. So last time we can have 6, because Mother's going to be active next turn unless she gets killed. We going to get plowed? Nope. All right, sweet. Okay, yep, we're casting this thing. Time now. Yeah, we're not attacking with Mother. We will never do that. Even though we probably, nah, not gonna risk it. Not even remotely worth it. He could have like conditional removal, like condemn. I really just want to cast it now because I know my mana is gonna be tied up. So next turn I'm gonna go Sword of War or Feast and Famine. Turn following, that's fine. Turn following, I will cast the Gideon. Actually, I'll equip the sword and cast the Gideon. Actually, I may even deck in stone. This will probably be a much more entertaining match. It'll be less interplay of counter spells. Well, maybe not. There's an island now. So what do we have? Detention Sphere? I guess that's hitting my sword. Okie doke. Alright. Auric Champ in a deck with a Detention Sphere kind of seems odd to me. I don't know on that. And we're going to go for these. We'll make a little guy. We're not going to attack this turn. I just don't want to, like, lose a card. If he wants to Wrath the board, it's fine. That's fine. Gideon plays around that very well. Actually, you know what? Do I care about this thing? Let's see what he does. I mean, this play doesn't make sense after putting the creature into play if he blocks it, but I don't think he's going to be honest. I don't think he's going to. I think he values that thing. I don't think he has the removal in his hand. Wasteland? Eh, cool. Go ahead. Get the Caracas. I've got Declaration Stone to kind of back us up against like a Bremas or something silly. I don't think he wants to be in mana denial mode right now, though. I think he needs to be in impact the board mode. Yeah, okay. Let's see if he wants to trade yet. That's fine. Counterspell? Probably. Do we play around Wrath? Yeah, I think we actually do. What we do is this. Come on. What we do is this. I think we play this out. I know it's a little weird to do it after the fact, but, you know. I mean, I guess it's the same, really. I bet you he's on Wrath. So he's going to need 5 mana to do a Wrath. He's playing, if he blocked that, I feel like, he probably is on Wrath of some sort. Which means I'm probably going to hold the rest of my cards in hand. Just in case. I mean, like, even though then, I mean, like, the Gideon is, just a beating right now. Do I win if I hit everything this turn? No, not worth it. Not worth burning up the Mother in Runes to some random flash creature, like an Aven Mind Sensor or something. And really, Aven can only block profitably like the Thalia's Lieutenant. That's a lot of damage. That is a whole boat of damage. I'm debating if I Tech Edge here. I think I do. I think I Tech Edge here because I think he's on like a Planeswalker or like a Wrath. Maybe like an Elspeth or something. Yeah, we Tech here. We got to. I know it takes us off mana for Bremas, but, it's... Do we need another threat? No, absolutely not. We don't need to put another threat down. Even though it'd be efficient to put the Dryad Militant down, I don't think we need to do it right now. He's off Wrath mana. He can't cast any of the good Planeswalkers. Mystifying Maze can't even activate. This is going to have to be a creature or a 3-mana spell. Wall of Reverence. Cool. If I draw a land, I'll deck and stone that thing. Okay, gain 1 life. And you're dead the next turn. Okie doke. Alright, so we can't cast that. Let us go. Yeah, he's dead. We'll give this pro white. He can block one of our things and kill it and take lethal. I guess, you know, why not? That should be game. Yep. Okie doke. Let's go to sideboard against this deck. What do I think? I think he has got a bunch of, like, I don't know. This is going to be good. He's playing white, obviously it's good. I like Sanctum Prelate. Eh. If we're going to stick with this, see what happens. I think I need this for the attrition from, like, kill spells and wraths. He's on white, so Crackdown's terrible. Sanctum Prelate may be good. I just haven't seen enough of the deck yet. Disenchanted Lights just randomly be good. I mean, sort of Feast and Famine is like so much better than sort of Light and Shadow, but I just think in this matchup, I mean, one, it's the protective colors are relevant, and I think he's going to be playing Wraths, just kind of based on what I saw. So let's run it back. Not a lot of modification. Maybe we'll get moted and like just instantly lament not having like the Griff's Boon or something like that in the deck. But you know, I don't know. I don't see him being like a moat deck either. You play Auriok Salvagers. I don't really see Moat being in the same deck, but I don't know. ML plays some you know interesting decks, like some decks with cards that I would not traditionally think I'd see in there. You know, but I guess I do too. I mean, I'm you know the guy who probably plays Storm deck in this format. So, alrighty, making his choices. Oh yeah, this is good. This is good. So I value very highly Benevolent Bodyguard. I think this card is stellar. And we'll see how it does here. I mean, against Wrath, obviously not as good. Armageddon is the other, or Ravages of War rather, is the other big reason we're keeping this. I think, I think Caracas, yeah, whatever. I think what we do here is cast this thing, force him to tap his Caracas. Oh, really? No. I'm good. So we force him to tie up his Caracas. That's an interesting play. I was trying to actually use it as like a miniature tangle wire to like tie up his Caracas because it's a very cheap spell. Oh, someone kept greedy. Let's put it down. Next turn is Wrath or his Armageddon turn. This is bad for him. This Bone Splitter just makes it makes Benevolent Bodyguard good. Is an attacker. I mean, it's good. It's a good card anyways. Death Blade Elite. Death Blade Elite, like part of the reason it's here is because it screws up combat math for opponents. I think what we end up doing here is we just attack in, and he's probably going to counter our Porcelain Legionnaire, but what I really want to do is force him to counter this, so the Ravages will certainly resolve the following, or has a higher probability. Not certainly. I mean, I guess nothing's certain. I don't have no clue what he has in his hand. It's obviously loaded with stuff. Wasteland is not one of those things I would have thought was good. All right, what are we gonna see here? That is fine. We can beat that all day long. Wheels up. Obviously, we're dependent on hitting lands here, but if he wants to attack us, we're definitely... I will play that game all day. Once we can equip this Bone Splitter, it's just... it's going to be lights out, I think. Alright, he's missing on lands too. I mean, we're both about 50-50. This actually is not a... Now, obviously, that's kind of what we're hoping for. I mean, but looking at our hand, I mean, once we hit a land, like, this thing just goes off again. You know, 36 land deck, so we're not unfavored to hit it. And right now, I mean, we're favored on board. I don't know for how long, but I mean, I think his deck is a more mana intensive deck than ours is. All right, Island. I'm not. That doesn't scare me. And I think this first turn we just do this. That's a 2-turn clock. So the other play we could have done is we could have just gotten rid of his bygone bishop, but I mean, I think that's unnecessary. I mean, because we're gonna it turns the clock down. This is gonna force him to block next turn anyways, and I don't really want to lose my Deathblade Elite. All right, he packs it in. So Armageddon does what it does and wins Death and Taxes or White Weenie Dex games. Um, you know, I know some folks tend to hate LD, but you know it's at least in a deck like that, it's there is ideally one of the last spells you cast. And as you saw in that game, it was. I mean, we did play one more land and attach a Bone Splitter, but you know, we what do I feel like playing this time? We do Blue Moon. We do Sultai Midrange. I like playing this deck, and we've been playing it a bit recently, but I think we go ahead and go for it. We haven't played on it today. And it's a cool deck. Yeah, this hand's this is a great hand. Got a Spell Snare on the play, negate, Bitter Blossom, a good win con, plus we have some manipulation with Brainstorm, and a fetch land. This is a great hand. Cool, so we're on some sort of like Maverick base colors. That's a good pull. Play that out. Hope we don't get wastelanded. If we do, we do. Actually, if we do, it's fine. It's fine. Get wastelanded here. It's not like what I want to have happen, but what I'm hoping to do is, yeah, counter a. I was hoping to counter a 2-drop. Ooh, cool. Well, we have 2 win cons at this point. That's just kind of funny. We started off control, went aggro, and now we're mid-range. Let's see what he does here. I'll probably brainstorm. No, nothing. Still think I'm going to brainstorm here, just to inform actions that we can take. I think what we do is this. Maybe we get rid of these 2. I think we redraw our Finks. And now because we have Force of Will, I'm just going to jam it. I'm going to jam the heck out of this True Name. I don't think Spell Snare is going up in value. So we're going to Bayou, Watery Grave. And jam it. Jam the True Name. So we've got the Force of Will for whatever he plays this turn. Choose a player. You know, and ideally we hit a land so that we can go Bitter Blossom and leave Negate up or Diabolic Edict. If he plays a single creature, I'm just going to let it happen. Because honestly, Edict will get it, so I don't need to waste the Force. The Force was kind of what led to this line, this more aggressive line. And obviously we don't have mana fix to cast Finks right now, but hopefully that doesn't stay that way forever. Planeswalker, you know, we counter. All right, I don't know what he's got going on. He kept a very land-heavy keep. Cool. So we're fixed next turn for Finks. And I think we just leave up... Oh, Sultai Charm? Yeah, of course. It's just a very flexible card. I like... That card is kind of like underwhelming looking, but I mean, like, its flexibility is huge. Like, I mean, we can either dig deeper, destroy monocolor... I forget what the last... I think it's destroy artifact or enchantment or destroy monocolor creature. What do we have going on here? Tangle? That's weird. Nah, screw that. We'll get it. And you know what? I don't think he can beat this card. I do not think. I think he's. This is his like 5-color planeswalker deck. I don't think he can beat this card right here. I'm gonna play it out. And if he's got a planeswalker, we're gonna counter it the next turn. This is like a Wrath planeswalker deck. I don't think he can beat this card though. This card is just a bomb against him. Now if he has like a really good one, this next turn it may be bad because like the negate would have been good there. But the Bitter Blossom just threatens planeswalkers very well, as does True Name. Like True Name, I think he almost has to Wrath this next turn to get rid of the True Name, because the True Name just ends the lives of planeswalkers very rapidly. It'll depend on which one he, because I think he's going to try to play one. I think this is like a 5-color planeswalker deck, kind of like Michelle was running last week, and like he enjoys running. I think he's had some success with the deck in her tourney, But honestly, I'm not the hugest fan of it. I think it's too greedy. And you can get favorable matchups with it and just win. Sometimes Wrath decks are great, but I mean, if you face a deck that doesn't run a lot of creatures, it's terrible. Damnation. Yeah, you know what? Am I fine with that? Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm just going to rely on the Bitter Blossom here. I think, the Negate and the Forcible are going to have a lot of value in the long game. We got Sultai Charm coming up. Let's pass it back. Sultai Charm will help us get to, more lands. I think we do eventually want to get to 5 for Forcible. I don't think his deck runs a lot of counter spells. I think it runs mostly board control cards, and then the walkers themselves. Maze of Ith, whatever. It's fine. Yeah, Damnation, that's like one of the good options against True Name. But at the same time, we probably should have cycled. We're not going to attack there and do a Maze of Ith. Diabolic Edict's going to be junk. I think I'm going to get rid of that thing. I don't even think he runs creatures in this deck. Yeah, if we're going to see Abrupt Decay, that's going to be bad. Okay, I thought we were going to see Abrupt Decay for a second. I'm like, ugh. Maelstrom Pulse. Nah. I don't want that still. Yeah, Vindicate. No, I do want that. Yeah, see, this thing is just going to warp the game. Oh, Abrupt Decay. Cool. So, what I think we do here is we go black, green, green, green. Leave Abrupt Decay and Edict up. Cast this thing, just kind of go back up on life. I don't think he has a lot of... he'll Wrath the board eventually. This thing's resilient. Alright. Obviously didn't want to do that, but I think Bitter Blossom is just... I don't know where his gas is. He must just be on all, Wraths or something. Wrath is so terrible against Bitter Blossom and Kitchen things, though. It's just meh. Oh, cool. So hopefully I can tap right. Go ahead and get rid of that thing. Or at least get rid of the token. Make him recast it next turn. Actually, you can't even put it back in his hand. Damnation is terrible. Let's get rid of that. That's the funny thing about midrange. You have some cards when you're obviously versus the control in this matchup, are just garbo. Like Damnation. But there's just sometimes you just want that thing against aggro. It's just I don't know. We'll see here. He's probably gonna Maybe cast a smaller planeswalker, pass it back, return the Batter Skull. Although I don't think this is a great board for any of the planeswalkers. I mean, even like the big Elsbeth, like put 3 1/1s into play and then she pretty much dies. We'll see though. Maybe we're getting Wrath of God or something. Okay. Council's Judgment on Bitter Blossom, obviously. 1 vote. Okay. Cool. You can return that thing, and then I'll just Abrupt Decay the token again. I think I'm winning this race. It's close. Cool. Let's take a look at what our fate has in store. Bottom. Top. I think we do want this little thing. This is going to up the clock a lot. Four down to 7, because the Sphinx is coming back. 4. Because he's going to recast. His plan looks like it's all in on Batter Skull. Looks that way. Maybe not. Oh. Okay. That's actually fine, because I mean, it takes him another turn off Batter Skull. I'm fine with that. I am 100% fine with that. I don't know. That's a weird plan. It's a really, really weird plan. Yeah, I don't think you should do that. I think you need to get the Batter Skull back. And I don't know. It's tight. It's close. I mean, yeah, obviously, if you can play like Stoneforge Mystic, and you can play that thing back at instant speed, I mean, maybe it's fine because it's the same turn cycle. That's going back into hand. Yep, cool. Take 4. And then you're going to pay 5 mana to put this thing back down, my guess would be. Can't do much else of relevance, and Abrupt Decay is obviously uncounterable, so we can get rid of the token. And then, well, I mean, we have lethal anyways, so we don't even need to destroy that thing with Abrupt Decay. Yeah, it should be game. So I think what we do is we let it come back to us. We're a very efficient deck. We're much more efficient than Batter Skull is. So we have Sarkin. Okay. He's going to make a dragon. That's cool. He's going to make a dragon. Or he's going to... Okay. Cool. Cool deal. So Batter Skull in hand, dragon on the board. And I've got Abrupt Decay in hand. So I guess I win. Actually, I win anyways. He should probably concede here. Yeah, Batter Skull in hand, he can't do anything. That was weird. That was a weird play. I don't know why I would play Batter Skull and like try to block the Sphinx. It's very odd. Very odd. Okie doke. Against this deck, I think we want this silly thing. I think we want this for sure. Ooh. Alright, hey guys, I'm going to have to break contact on the recording. I hope you enjoyed what we had so far. I don't think we're going to be able to finish this one up. I'm about to blow my disk space, going like probably on a couple hours now. Hour and 30 minutes. But we're going to go ahead and go on a pause here. We may have one more later on after I clear some space out.